Hello again, it's that time of the month, it's the last day of the month and time to bring to you another end of month bot haul. Yes, it's been quite a busy month. Bought a whole shed load of bots and as I know these videos tend to run out for about 30 minutes, I'm going to try and get through them as quickly as I can. And yeah, so where to get started? Yeah, all began on, let's have a look, Thursday the 3rd of September when I received an eBay item. Now I've actually reviewed this bot, so you've seen it already. Age of Extinction Power Battlers Junkheap. Yes, I actually bought him auto assembly in the bar on the Friday night. I went onto eBay to check to see whether there was any of these on eBay going for the scandalous prices that the scalpers ask for them, and actually this guy was going for a reasonable price, so I bought him on a buy it now for about 20 odd quid, and he arrived on Thursday the 3rd of September, so he was the first bot I picked up this month. Right, then we move forward to Sunday the 6th of September. Now I went out car booting. First time I've been car booting for a while. Decided to go down the local haunts, which was CJ's and Stoneleigh. Drove up to CJ's. Thing is, CJ's has finished for the year. The reason being, it's held on the Leamington Spa rugby ground, and the rugby season has just started up again. So the field's in use. You know that they're using it for the ruggers. So CJ car boot sale. That's it. Finished for 2015. So okay, I'm going to go up to Stoneleigh, which is just around the corner. So I went to the Stoneleigh NAC. As I was driving up to Stoneleigh, loads of cars going in, big signs up saying "Dog Show." So I thought, oh no car boot sale at Stoneleigh today, because the car boot at Stoneleigh is mostly an indoors one, and it's held in the exhibition halls and the cattle sheds. And the exhibition halls is bound to have been where they was holding the dog show. So no Stoneleigh. So I was a bit shit out, really. So I was thinking I had some cash burning a hole in my pocket. I thought, where can I go? And I thought, I know. Let's go to Furness End. So I drove all the way up to Furness End, and it's an absolute pig of a place to get to. It's about a 40-mile round trip. It's right in the middle of the sticks, up the back of Cozil and places like that. Anyway, got there, and, well, little story. At auto assembly on, I think it was the Sunday afternoon, I had it in my mind I wanted to get hold of a Classics Hound. Now I knew there was Zyber Toys was selling them the Takara version in the Japanese box with the Ravage figure, the twin pack, but they were asking like 40 quid for it, and I couldn't bring myself to pay that. So I was looking for a loose one for about sort of 15-20 quid. Couldn't find one anywhere. Anyway, went to Furness End, got in. It was huge. Furness End was absolutely huge. So I thought, right, I'm probably going to have my work cut out here. So I started at the front, started working my way back. No sooner had I gone down the first aisle of sellers, there was some woman on the end, got a load of crap out, and a box of die-cast cars on the floor. And what should be sat on top of them? Classics Hound. Now I was looking, it was in Jeep mode, and I was looking at it and thinking, is that really Classics Hound? And I was looking it over. I said, is it a genuine one? I says, yes, it's got the stamp on it, and it's got the thing. It's a proper one. It's got the copyright marks on it. How much for that? 20 pence. 20 pence for Classics Hound. This is one of the best bargains I've ever picked up at a car boot sale. He has been well played with. He's got very, very loose hips, but he come with his gun. Didn't come with Ravage, but I'm not too bothered about that. I didn't want the Ravage set. Brilliant figure. Awesome light piping. Great transformation. 20 pence. 20 pence. For Classics Hound. This guy commands a really he holds his price in the second-hand, Transformer market, but 20 pence for Classics Hound. Amazing. Like I said, one of the best bargains I've picked up at a car boot sale. I was well happy with that. I was made up with that. But that wasn't all. There were a few other things I picked up. Well, one other thing. Went wandering round and found this dude. Revenge of the Fallen Dune Runner. He was, I had to transform him. It was some kid who was selling a bunch of Transformers. He actually had the Omega Supreme You know, the one that splits in half and one becomes a train and one becomes a battleship. He had one of those. I didn't ask him how much that was. I was too busy rummaging around in this box looking for other things and digging this fella out. And then some bloke rocked up, oh, how much for the big one? And he sort of whittled him down. He sold it for about £3. £3 for Omega Supreme. I was gutted. I mean, I was umming and ahhing about it, but I could have got Omega Supreme for like £3. So I settled for this dude, and he was 50p. So quite happy with that. It turns into a Dune buggy. He's missing the weapons that peg on his shoulders, but in alt mode they sort of sit on the back of his alt mode. But they're missing. But I'm not bothered. He forms a perfectly good bot. So quite happy with that. There were a few other things I saw at Furnace End, but nothing that really took my fancy. Nothing that was complete. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to right, Saturday. Is it? Yeah, Saturday the 19th of September. Now, I mentioned before in some of my videos, if I buy an Armada figure and it hasn't got its Minicons, then I will seek them out, because Armada figures, in my opinion, have to have their Minicons with them. And one of the last things I picked up at Auto Assembly this year was Armada Sideways. You know, the little purple motorcycle dude. Anyway, he has some very interesting Minicon partners. So, scouted around on eBay, found some, bought them, and here they are. Say hello to Crosswise and Rook. Now these guys combine together to form the motorcycle rider. They also become little Minicon figures in their own right, but they also transform into different head sculpts for Sideways, and that little faction symbol in his chest which pops up and down, you put one on it, he becomes a Decepticon, you put the other on, he becomes an Autobot. So these guys make my Armada Sideways complete. So I was really happy to pick them up, and they were £7.99 for the pair. Right, moving along, the next day, Sunday the 20th of September, I went car booting again. Obviously CJ's wasn't on, so I went up to Stoneleigh. Was wandering around one of the main halls in Stoneleigh and found this. Transformers Prime Voyager Optimus. Yeah, he was in a box of junk. Didn't really have any other Transformer stuff on this stall. It was sort of, you know, in a mess like that. So I got him out and I had a look. I says, has he got all his arms and legs? Yes. Has he got his head? Yes. And the more I looked at him, I thought, I don't think this guy's been played with very much, because he's still got the little plastic rubber band on the back of his head. And I don't think this guy's been transformed, because, you know, obviously he would have been in robot mode in the box. Now, I was reluctant to buy it because I've got more than enough Optimus Primes, thank you very much. I didn't want any more, but this guy's got quite a cool transformation. He's a good bot, he's well articulated, he's a really decent, you know, action figure. So I thought, okay, I'll have a punt. How much? 30p. So another bargain there, 30p for a perfectly good Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. He's missing the mech tech weapon, but quite frankly, I'm not really bothered about that. So yeah, picked him up. And wandered around some more. And found some guy had a few figures, and this caught my fancy. It's one of the movie Legends figures, and it's Barricade, but it's the repaint in the blue. Now I already have one of these, but it's missing part of his leg. So he, you know, when you know, so he's obviously a one-legged bot, and in car mode, one corner of the car is missing. But this guy was complete, and yeah. So I thought, how much is that? 50p. I thought, a bit much for a Legends figure, but I ummed and ahed about it, and then said, all right, I'll do that for 50p. So picked him up for 50p. I might have to get rid of the other one as a parts bot, because, you know, I've got a complete one now. What do I need the other one for? Right, yeah, carried on round, and then I found this chap that I'd seen before. He sort of does toy selling. He has quite a big store, and he's a toy trader, toy dealer, and he has some really cool vintage toys on his stall. And I'd bought some Transformers off him before, because the last time I saw him, he had a huge box of really knackered G1, late G1 Transformers, and I bought a couple off him. There was more I wanted. Anyway, looking around, and I saw something on his stall, and I thought, what's that like? Beast Wars Optimus Primal, the original one. It's a bit dusty, hasn't got any accessories, and he wanted 12 quid for it. Now, to me, that is a lot of money. Admittedly, this is a leader class bot from the Beast Wars line, or a bit, no, well, I suppose it's not much more than a Voyager these days, but it's the most I've ever paid for a bot at car boot sale. And I've bought some much bigger bots than this for less than this. I got Supreme Starscream for 10 quid. I've got a Ultimate Bumblebee for 4 quid. And I've paid 12 quid for this. Dude, I was umming and ahhing, I would have left him, but I thought, well, I really want to come away with something. And again, it was a case of I had some cash burning a hole in my pocket, so I went for him. Like I said, it's a shame he hasn't got his missiles or his weapons or his swords. So, but I mainly bought him to go with this guy. Because I've got, you know, Beast Wars Megatron. I thought I've got to have Optimus Primal to go with him. So yeah, I paid through the nose for this. And this isn't the first bot you're going to see on this list that I paid over the odds for. Interesting note, the guy I bought this off says, oh, I'm going to be at the NEC next week. And I thought, right, what happened to those old Transformers you had last time? He says, oh, my mate's given me a load of a box full of accessories for him. I'm going to clean them up and sell them at the toy fair next week. He says, all right, I'll see you at the toy fair. Remember that. Right, moving along. Yes. You've seen this dude as well. I've done a review of him. It's Pony Meister. Hello, Carbots. Micro Pony Meister. Yes, got him. As soon as I saw the pictures of this, I wanted one. eBay sellers have started to flog them out. Got it off eBay. It was about £16.38, you know, with the postage and all that. Cool little dude. It's about a Legends size figure. Bit bland here. But an interesting note. I've just noticed over the last couple of days that Series 2 episodes of Carbots are starting to air on YouTube. Choir Rock Contents Factory, their channel, they're showing the episode. They've got the first 4 episodes up. 5th episode should come up this week or next week. And then they've got previews for up to about episode 16. And this guy is in the new series, and he first appears in about episode 7 from what I can see, and he looks really, really cool. There's a whole load of new characters coming in for the new series. But Meister is in there, and he looks amazing, and I'm hoping they're going to do one of the big, 1/20th scale bots of this guy, because I am so wanting to get one of those. But anyway, for now, I'm really happy with this guy. In the show, he has a lot more yellow on him. He has, like, yellow up here, and he's got yellow on his legs, and his weapon's yellow. So I might be getting out the paintbrush and touching this guy up to make him more screen accurate. Right, so next it was Friday, the 25th of September, which, as we all know, is a Coventry Toy Hunt. Now, I had seen when I went up to Bury, they've got a Smith's Toys at Bury, that Smith's is offloading the Generations Voyager figures for 15 quid. And I thought, well, after auto assembly, I was really hankering for a Generations Skybyte, but I sort of missed out. They'd all gone because people were buying up, so Peter Spellers could sign them for him. Yeah, so I really wanted one. So I went, finished work, drove over to Coventry, went to Smith's, which is my first port of call. Walked in the door. They'd moved everything round because Smiths have had a bit of a session moving all the stuff all over the place. So it took me a while to figure out where the Transformers were. And as I went walking up the aisle, I saw this box sticking out on the bottom shelf, and I thought, you beauty! Generation Skybyte for 15 quid. Yeah, you can get them cheaper at B&M home stores, but I was happy to pay 15 quid for this. It's alright. Obviously, he is an awkward shell former to get into his shark mode. It's really difficult to get all the shell, the pieces in the right position to peg together to form the tail of the shark. And yeah, his legs are a bit skinny, but he's all right. I'm glad I bought him. I was so happy to, for what I always get these ideas when I'm going out shopping that, I'm going to find this, I'm going to find that, and I get so excited, thinking about what I'm going to buy, and then so disappointed when it never works out. But in this case, it worked. I mean, I went in there, one in a Skybyte, and there was one there, and as it happened, he was the last generation's Voyager on the shelf. So, awesome. Couldn't have faulted it. That just worked out brilliantly. That just made going over Coventry on Friday the 25th of September totally worth it. So then I went up to Toys R Us at Cross Point Retail Park up by the M6, and usual shit. Toys R Us are just losing the plot now. They've got a reasonably good selection of RID figures, but apart from that, their display was just junk. It was rubbish. They've still got, remains of the Age of Extinction line knocking about. They've got all sorts of crap, and there was a couple of things I could have bought, but in the end I decided to go cheap, and I bought RID Legion class Underbite. I've got the one stepper. He's up there on the shelf somewhere. I thought I'd get the little Legion one. He's all right. He's pretty cool. A bit limited what you can do with him. I mean, yeah, he's got legs that move, but he hasn't got a working mouth, and he turns into some Cybertronian car. So yeah, it was all right. $4.99. Not much I can say about it really. It was a case of kind of a booby prize that I bought, but the fact that I got Skybyte, that made it all worthwhile, and this guy was neither here nor there really. Right, so yes, now we get onto the serious stuff, because it's September and it's another NEC Toy Fair. So I'd actually, over the weeks leading up to the NEC, I'd managed to get together a bit of money. I usually take £100 to the NEC Toy Fair. So I managed to save up 90 quid, so I was nearly at my target of cash I wanted to take. But the day before, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take some more money. So I went uptown, got another 100 quid out, and I took 180 quid. And it's a damn good thing I did as well. When you see what I've bought. Yes, so NEC Toy Fair, got the early bird ticket for 10 quid. Got in 2 hours early before the official opening. Walking around while people were setting up. Did a lap around the place to get the lay of the land. And now I found this stall, and I think it was the guy who I saw at the Stoneleigh car boot sale. I think it was his stall, but I didn't actually see him around. There were some other guys on the stall, but I recognised some of the figures that he had on the stall. They were the figures that I'd seen in that big box of Transformer junk that I saw on his stall like 2 months ago. But they've had a big old clean up, and he's sorted out all the weapons and accessories for them. So first of all, G1 Landfill, complete with his target masters, flintlock and silencer. At least I think they're flintlock and silencer. I haven't checked to see whether these are, off the other one I've got, or whether they're off Scoop. But he had a Scoop on there. He had a Scoop on there. So maybe he had two. Maybe this was a different guy. I don't know. Anyway, got him. He's all right. I quite like him. Very stiff joints on this one. Stickers aren't too bad, so he might not need repro labelling. Yeah, he's all right. He was 15 quid. I was reasonably happy to pay that. The next, these are all from the same stall. Quickmix. Yep, G1 Quickmix. Again, with his target masters, Boomer and Ricochet. Picked him up. He's okay. Again, reasonably tidy. Decals aren't too bad. 15 quid, same price as Landfill. Then I saw another bot, and I don't know whether I'd mentioned this before, but I was one of the bots that I wanted to pick up at the NEC Toy Fair. And I kind of knew there was going to be one there, but I didn't think it was going to be as expensive as this. G1 SKullcruncher. Now, he is complete. He has his sword, he has his gun, he has his Headmaster. He's in reasonably good condition. Reasonably tight joints. Yep. Now, the price. 45 quid. Now, I winced when I saw the price of this. And, you know, I thought, well, I've just spent 30 quid on those two. And now I'm going to spend 45 on this. And I really wanted one. As you can see, I bought it because I've got it in my hand. Yeah, I really wanted to buy one. And if this is the same one I saw in that dusty, dirty box of crap 2 months ago, which I think it is, and they've done a really good job of cleaning him up, but there is some bits of dust still in the few corners. I begrudgingly paid the price for this, and this now represents the most money I have paid for a loose G1 figure. 45 quid. It's not the most I paid for a G1 figure. I've paid 50 quid for a Takara reissue Optimus Prime set complete boxed, but you know that was well worth 50 quid. 45 quid for this guy. I think that was probably about 15 quid too much in my mind. I think 30 is a more accurate price for how much this guy will be worth given his condition. But anyway, got a G1 SKullcruncher, and that was, you know, tick. That was something I wanted to do at the NEC Toy Fair, so mission accomplished. Then I went around the stall some more, and it wasn't long before I saw another G1 figure that I wanted. Now, again, I think I paid over the odds for this guy, but I really, really wanted him, and I can show you the reason why. Because of this. There he is. G1 Spinister. Yep, G1 Spinister. One of the scavengers. Yep, after reading More Than Meets the Eye, issues 7 and 8, I decided I want to collect the scavengers. And I'm doing quite well because I've got Crankcase and I've got flywheels. So I've got 3 of them now. I've got Spinister as well. I want to get Misfire. Unfortunately, there isn't a G1 figure of Flanker, and Croc only came out as an Action Master figure, so he doesn't transform, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm kind of hoping that when Mastermind Creations have finished doing their DJD figures, they're going to do some, you know, reworks of the scavengers, because that would really, really do it. Because I want nothing more than a deluxe fulcrum that turns into a bomb. That's what I want. Anyway, this guy is, as you can probably see, the decals are all over the place. I mean, look, he's got 2 Decepticon symbols on his tail. And the cockpit, I mean, the decals are all over the shop. He is complete. He is dirty. His joints are tight. He has both his target masters, and I pay 30 quid for him. Now, he's not a very big bot as G1 figures go. He's only one of the mini target masters. Bearing in mind the Autobot equivalents, I paid half price. I paid 15 quid for these dudes, and they're in better condition than this guy. So yeah, another bot I paid over the odds for. He will definitely be getting some repro decals and having a wash and brush up, this guy. Because, yeah, Spinister, I wanted him. So it was a case of my heart was overruling my head, and I paid 30 quid for this puppy. Again, a little bit more than I would have liked to have paid. I think 15, 20 quid at the most for this guy, but I paid 30. Was it really worth it? But I've got another scavenger! Yeah, right. moving along. Yeah, so there was another figure I'd seen. I'd walked around the first time I'd spied it, but moved on. Then I found this guy. And I've bought stuff off him before at the NEC Toy Fair. And I've also seen his face around locally, because apparently he works at my local entertainer toy shop in Leamington Spa. So he's a local boy. And I got speaking with him. And his name's Thomas. Thomas Hesnan. I didn't quite catch his name properly. Anyway. He buys and sells Transformers. It's the second time I've seen him at the NEC. He had a big table full of bots. And he had some stuff that I wanted to buy. But before I bought anything, there was something else I wanted to get first. So I walked back around, went to the other guy, and picked up this fella. Little red Scrapmetal from the Cybertron line. Yeah, I kind of wanted one of these. I like my Cybertron figures anyway. It turns into like a spider tank thing with a huge gun. I haven't tested the... Well, actually I can test the Cyber Key gimmick because I've got a Cyber Key right here. There we go. It does work. So yeah, I picked him up. He was a £5, so he's pretty cool. Went back over to Thomas's store and it's like, right, I'm probably going to be spending the rest of my money here. Yeah, so he had one bot on his store who actually I saw last time I went to the NEC Toy Fair. I mean, you remember the last one I went to, I said I could have spent 300 quid here. This was the guy who had all the cool bots, and he had another one. So I picked this guy up. Energon Scorponok, or at least a version of him. I bought this mainly because of the colours. The metallic green, the gold, the black. He's cool. I've broken him twice. Bust one of these things off where it pegs into here, so I've had to super glue it back on, and I've broken one of these link things here. To be fair, they are made of gold plastic. I mean, this guy is mostly made out of transparent and gold plastic, so he is a bit fragile. Yeah, 20 quid I give for this guy. I have sort of transformed him into his various modes, hence the reason why I snapped that, because it was incredibly stiff, and I was trying to get close the cockpit up for the Scorpion mode, and something went snap. Yeah, that'd be that. I've tried gluing it, but every time I move the arm, it just breaks again, so yeah. The arm sort of stays on, it's a little loose, but I have to live with that. He's alright, he's quite cool. So yeah, picked him up. And then, so we had these boxes on the front of the stall, so I went for a rummage. And I was in the box that was the £5 stuff. And he was giving me some pointers as to what bots are good ones to have. First one I picked up was one that I had my eye on. Prime RID Cliffjumper. Now, bought it for the car mode, for the muscle car mode, which is really cool. His bot mode, the proportions are a bit odd. He's got these very long, lanky arms and quite short legs. I'm not really sure what I make of him, really, to be honest. He's a bit odd. Yeah, so I bought him for a £5. He's kind of alright, I suppose. But now that I've played with him some, I've transformed him, I've sort of cooled on him a little bit. Not as interested in him as I was when I first bought him. So next, went on to the, was it the Revenge of the Fallen sort of scout class figures. Picked up Hubcap for a £5. Tom was saying this guy's apparently pretty good, and so he was correct. He's a pretty awesome little bot. Then he was going on about this guy, and he was saying his name was Kickback, but when I got home and looked him up, it's certainly not Kickback. It's actually Reverb. Little motorcycle former turns into a sports bike. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I'm getting a thing for motorcycle formers. You've probably noticed I've got quite a few. Yeah, so I picked him up. He was a £5 as well. Then I had another rummage and found this guy. And this was another bot that was misidentified. He said it was Dead End. But again, when I got home, did my research, found out this is Hunt for the Decepticons oil pan. So got him. He's pretty good. And then I went into one of the other boxes where he's got his bigger, more expensive figures. I was having a rummage through and I found something that I've been after for a little while. Dark of the Moon Voyager Magatron. Now, this guy has got a bit of an issue. He's got a bit of a loose arm joint. Might be able to do something with that. He's pretty cool. He's got quite a good transformation. He's complete. He's got all his bits. You know, he's got the Mech-Tech fusion cannon. Got the tarpaulin bit. He's all right. So got him, and he was £15. Then again, I had a rummage in another box that was full of £12 figures, and I pulled another figure out. Cybertron Sideways. Now, I had at this point I had about £3 left, and I wanted to buy another £5 figure, so he gave me a bit of a discount on this guy, and he gave it me for a tenner, which was all right. He's really cool. I'd recently seen TJ Omega's random review on this guy, and kind of reminded me that I quite like this figure from the Cybertron show, so I thought I'd pick one up. Tom says he was a bit reluctant to get rid of it, but there you go. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with him. He's pretty cool. And he was £10. Then I bought my last figure at the NEC Toy Fair. Now, at the time, he was in his car mode, and I've seen this figure around, and I'm kind of thinking I'd like to give that guy a go. That wasn't until I transformed it. Is this Dark of the Moon? No, it's Revenge of the Fallen Jolt. Now, this thing, there's a couple of things I don't like about it. Chiefly of which is this hinged backpack thing, which does not peg in. That is inexcusable. I mean, the hinged shoulder joint, it just does. What does it peg into? I don't know. And his legs, he's got these massive, great chunks of rear windscreen stuck to the front of his legs. Transformation's not that great. The car doesn't peg together that well. Buyer's regret, I think, on this one. I wish I hadn't have bought it, but I was hunting through the £5 bag, box, trying to pick out some other figures. But this guy just doesn't really do it for me. I might be passing him on at some point. Don't know. But he was a £5, and he was the last figure I picked up at the NEC Toy Fair. So yeah, that was that. But by no means the end of the box I picked up this month. No. Because the other day, I got this guy. Yes, I took a gamble. Some guys were selling these on eBay early. Yeah, Toy World TWD05 Spear. Their Swoop Homage, last of their Dinobots. Got him. Thanks for people who've commented on my review of this, and yeah, it probably is a pre-production sort of, not prototype, but a pre-production sample, the sort that get given out to reviewers to review before the actual toy comes out. That would explain a few bits that are a bit loose on him. The fact that there's a few joints that need the tolerances tightening up. He's all right. pterosaur mode's a bit blocky. Bot mode's okay. There's a few loose joints on it, but I've got him. No one else has as of yet. So yeah, what more can I say about it? So that's that. That's it. That's the end of this month's bot haul. Yeah, it was 25 bots and £354.96 spent. So it was quite a big month for me. Right, moving on. It's rollout roll call in a couple of days' time. Yes, I'm going to roll out. Haven't really got any plans of what I'm going to buy at rollout. I should have 300 quid to take down with me. I mean, there's no point in taking £1,000 to roll out roll call, because if it's anything like last year, it'll be a couple of rooms in a hotel, and there'll be like 4 or 5 rooms with traders in. It'll be very small, very compact, and there won't be a great deal of choice of things to buy. So I'm kind of looking at getting a couple of the convention exclusive figures, and possibly some masterpiece bots if I see some that I want at a reasonable price. And after reading some comics, there's some more figures that have sort of jumped up into my line of sight, and there's a couple of Generations figures that I want to get my hands on now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to rollout roll call in a couple of days' time. I'll be going down on Saturday morning, getting there hopefully just after 9 o'clock ish, I hope. Quick note, if you want me to bring any of my bots to rollout roll call for you to have a look at, like this dude, which is probably the only one in the UK at the moment, or perhaps this dude, or even this dude, just put some comments in the box below and let me know, and I'll bring them along to a rollout roll call for you guys to have a look at. So yeah, it's nearly 40 minutes. I can't help myself when I start yapping. The old clock rolls round. Yeah, so yeah, that's this month's bot haul. This is the last video I'll be doing before rollout roll call, so you'll be seeing me after the weekend showing you my rollout roll call haul. So I'll see you then. Ta-da.